Good afternoon, everyone. Oh, what a blizzard it was. Hard freeze warnings all the way down to Florida, citrus loss. New York City, Rhode Island, not digging out anytime soon. Atlantic City, snowiest January on record. One-day totals. Supermarkets were stripped long before that. Boston, oh, record snowfall. They're going to have long time dig out there. These states I marked, especially Maine, is going to have food shortages in the next 7 days. Supply chains are already broken. They got walloped with an extra band of snow. They rely the most on any other state for imports. Their store shelves were stripped bare anyway. And a bevy of the Northeast states relying heavily on Canada for imports. New Brunswick, Quebec. Too bad that's all locked up. Everything is at a standstill in Canada. There is no resupply coming from across that border. Another snowstorm's on tap to drop another foot plus of snow in 4 days. We're going to watch this play out in real time. 7 days are left, USA. Weight management is a universal struggle. Many wonder why their weight loss becomes more difficult after they reach the age of 20. What most people don't know is that after we turn 20, our body's metabolism slows by as much as 4% each decade. By the time we're 50, we'll have a 10% drop or more in our metabolism. This is why I highly recommend adaptwithketo.com. This amazing powder helps me keep my belly down and lose weight in a shorter period of time than anything I've tried. Much like the keto diet, it can help raise levels of fat-burning ketones, except without the drawbacks like cutting out carbs completely. I've started seeing improvements with as little as 1 scoop a day. And if you want to support your weight loss, you're going to love adaptwithketo.com. And if you order in the next 24 hours, get 51% off Keto Elevate by going to adaptwithketo.com. And now on with the video. And looking at a stationary image here, off goes E.S.T. Bombogenesis Blizzard, whatever you like to term it, spinning backward into Maritimes of Canada, Northeast U.S. But of all things, Florida took a hit as well. Hard freeze warnings. There's massive losses in the citrus crop. Now, the trees aren't going to die. They're just going to lose this year's crop. Happens every so often. But fruit prices are going to skyrocket if you're into your citrus. Record cold across Florida, breaking old records by 1 to 2 degrees Fahrenheit. But then we look at the snow in the Northeast. Rhode Island, for example. And the states affected by this blizzard. So this is where it gets all encompassing, that this is one of the heaviest snowstorms in such a long time that the entire area needs to dig out. Not enough workers, everybody's furloughed, quit, retired, whatever. It's already at a snail's pace anyway, getting basic services, and now this is an all-out emergency to get the roads cleared to resupply, yet there aren't enough people to do it. They were begging for snowplow drivers pre-season. I even did a video on that. So the blizzard states, Connecticut, Delaware, Maine, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New York, and Rhode Island. Let's look at some images. 81-mile-per-hour winds. Someplace had 100. You know, trees, power lines are down. That's going to delay any kind of cleanup or resupply into these already empty supermarkets due to supply chain shortages before this came. Then so many people bought whatever they could, knowing that the storm was coming and know that it would be resupply slower than molasses in January, as my grandmother would say. Hamptons crushed, Manchester, Worcester. These are one-day totals, but they got the backside of the storm further into the Northeast. Looking at the blizzard conditions, downtown New York City. Whiteout conditions. This is in New York. This is the things they're dealing with first, along with Boston and other major cities that are going to get cleaned out, and then they'll finally get their way to the countryside. Brooklyn, sidewalks and streets, both. And then taking a look at Long Island, 2 feet. That's going to take a smidgen of time to get clear as well. And all these resources diverted to clear streets, highways, roadways, and then get the trucks that could even get to some of these outer areas. You know, supply and logistics chains are usually located outside major city centers, ease of getting in and out of there with large trucks. Those are side roads at times. And then Atlantic City, snowiest January on record. Again, these are not so normal places to get such deep snowfalls that are going to require a little bit of extra manpower to get it cleaned out. Snowplows are going to be running 24/7 if they even have the people to drive them. State of emergency already called New York and New Jersey from the snow. And then if we look at the higher intensity bands moving through, which meant feet of snow over a couple hours. So that's Atlantic City, and it extends up near to Philadelphia and all over through Ohio and Snowbelt, Buffalo area, pounded as well. So it's not as if one area had no snow and they can resupply. The entire Northeast U.S. was buried. Looking at Rhode Island, and it just continued and continued. Boston, like this is the phenomenon that's happening. Every set of supermarkets across the entire Northeast was completely stripped. This is the wild card that a lot of people aren't thinking about. How are they going to resupply those supermarkets? Now, if you were lucky enough to run out and get supplies at the last minute, good on you. That's going to run out as soon as you're done with it. Did you have anything stored aside for situations like this? And if you've been a regular listener of the Adapt 2030 channel, you probably would have had extra food stored aside. Boston, oh, scratch that out. New record snowfall. Wherever you turn your head, it is record snow and stripped bare supermarkets that are in bad need of resupply already. Going to take you to Goes East here. This is all band 10. Now, when you go to the page there for Goes satellites, you can get different infrared bands, sandwich, RGB. But this is the one I found that really showed how the lower water level is pushing the snow bands in. It was lower than 10,000 feet. As it progresses, it looks like it's clearing off the coast, but then you get that one last band that absolutely hammers northern Maine, central Maine, and then it reverses, backwinds on itself, and just hangs there and drops multiple feet of snow in a few hours. Let's zoom in on that so you can see the band as it forms. Storm's starting to clear out, but then that heavy green right over places like Caribou, heading up into Quebec. And we'll take a look at band 9, which shows you a little bit clearer, in my opinion, images of the cloud stacking. Same areas that get that last push of snow that really was the extra couple feet that's going to require some serious time to push that to the sides of the roads there. This image here is what's considered light snowfall during this event. And the further you go up toward that last band of snowfall, this is what you were getting with the drifting snow. And Maine imports more food than any other state in the continental United States. They're completely cut off at this moment. When you look at some of these totals here on a one day, this comes off the gray Maine National Weather Service tallies. Portland, which is right on the coast, says 12 to 18 inches. That's great for a single day, but then when you look at the eastern U.S. snowfall totals just by the National Weather Service compiling all the data, Caribou, Maine, 63 inches of snow. Bangor, Maine, 36 inches. But when you look on the single day totals, you're looking at Bangor straight in the center of the map there. They're putting it around 22, tapering off to 11 or 12. And then, you know, there's other layers, no pun intended, of this going on here. You see New Brunswick and Quebec. These are other supply routes and points for Maine to receive foodstuffs. We already know what's happening up in Canada with the Truckers Convoy. They're not delivering anything at all or crossing any border until the mandates are removed. The trucks have stopped. Maine at this point will not be resupplied from Canada. Because in an emergency, Quebec would be happy to help and send an enormous amount of food over. They can't either. The roads are blocked and the truckers are not moving. And this goes the same with other states that are up here, Vermont, New Hampshire, coming back from the border up there from New Brunswick and Quebec. because the supply chains are already broken, and we all know that. We keep hearing repeated stories: supply chain, supply chain, supply chain, no delivery, can't deliver, not enough drivers, people are there, factories are closed, supermarkets are stripped, roads impassable. And then you look over in Canada, their store shelves were empty already. And look at that. The grapes that used to be 99 cents are now $4.99 a pound. Last paragraph. They're experiencing runaway inflation there from non-deliverables, or if you can get it, it's going to cost you whatever you're willing to pay for it. If the trucks stopped, which they have, and we're in the midst of it right now. We're already well past 24 hours. We're into the 2 to 3 day era already because the food shortages are already escalating. I mean, people got what they could out of the stores, and now what's left? Not much. Might be some service stations, but they're blocked in from the snow. Fuel resupply, I don't think that's going to be really happening too quickly. Container ships, and there was a lot of ferocious waves. There's not going to be much coming in by sea either. Now, Ryan Hall, y'all, excellent weather forecasting here. I've watched a fair few of his tornado updates because when we have tornadoes come through our area, I watch him real time, keep my weather radios on, and I watch his channel to keep me safe because he is, in my opinion, the best on the web for doing live broadcasting during storm events to show you in advance. He was 20 minutes ahead of the National Weather Service for those tornadoes going through Kentucky. Ryan Hall, y'all. Go to that one, bookmark it. Make sure you check out his YouTube channel. More snow inbound. Weatherbell putting this one out. The blue line extends all the way through the same areas. But how much snow is that really in the same areas? Massachusetts, another foot plus. All the way through those same areas that are digging out right now. They got 4 days and below zero temperatures. Wonder how that's going to work out. I don't know if they're going to get it cleared in time before the next storm comes in. But you can see how each roadway and delivery point into these areas are being cut off. This is a full breakdown in society right here in front of you. Next 7 days, our world's going to change with the trucking convoys globally. But also your understanding of the fragility of this just-in-time delivery system and how much you're going to be on your own from now on. That will become a stark realization in the next 7 days. Speaking of having extra food around your house for events like this, long-term storable foods, My Patriot Supply and Adapt 2030, 25-year shelf life. This is exactly what I'm talking about, having extra food in case your supermarkets run out. Links in the description box below. I appreciate your time. We're all in this together. We're all going to have to find solutions together. I do thank you for watching. Hope you got something out of the video, and I'll see you next time.